Hi there, it's Ami. I've promised you to make a video all about what happened in the past year that I've been more or less absent from YouTube. And as much as there are a million reasons for my absence, I don't really have a proper excuse. So I thought, why not make a video all about 2017, the year I didn't bring you with, and fill the gap that I've created, and also prove that there's not much that you've missed. 2017 started with January, the best month of the year perhaps. I took a step into a whole new direction and went traveling by myself for 2 months. I went to Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam, Singapore and Malaysia. This is also the only thing that I've documented here. On the first day of the trip I got a terrible flu, which still remains one of the hallmarks of the past year. But I also had a chance to invest a lot of time to myself. I really got to know myself and befriended me. Unfortunately, I neglected this feeling and skill through the rest of the year, and that is one reason why I'm not the most content with the last year. I spent some really amazing hours with some extraordinary people. I slept on the floor and in marvelous hotels. I basically had an absolute blast in Asia. I returned home in the middle of March and spent the month trying to reconnect with my actual life, which was hard. I didn't do much more than that, although I let my former boyfriend, with whom we kinda separated before my trip but not really, slowly back into my life. I don't really remember much of April. I think I was so bored that I started developing this Kickstarter idea for a video project in which we were to portray stories by people from around the world and have them acted out by actors. In the end, we neglected that idea, so it never came to see the light of the world. But it was one of the reasons behind my trip to Berlin, where I visited a friend who moved there for a few months. After Berlin, we traveled to Bonn, also in Germany, to visit another friend whom I've met on Erasmus in Ireland in 2014. What I remember from May was that I accidentally worked as an assistant director on a short student film which we've shot in a cave. And short after, as many years before, I went to do some work with a project called Mr. Slovenia, which is a beauty pageant for men, and I worked there as a representative of Cosmopolitan magazine, for which I still work today. By June, I started another new business and started drawing henna tattoos professionally on markets for people who were actually willing to pay me. The work wasn't very consistent though, since the summer meant I needed to travel and have holidays again. I spent a good week by the sea with my boyfriend, and after that we traveled to Poland together, which was lovely, and it's also the only other thing that I've made a video about in the past year. August was time to do some travels with my family, so we drove to Montenegro to visit our relatives. My granddad was born there and is now buried there, and it surprised me once more how big and loving my family there is and how welcoming in their Balkan spirits they are, although I've only seen most of them 2 times before. Oh yes, in the summer I was also working on my application for the Academy of Theatre, Radio, Film and Television in Ljubljana, and I was shockingly accepted. So I've started my master's studies in October, and now I study script writing. Not that I've written a script for this though. The academy takes up most of my time now, so not much has been happening since then, sadly. But I did manage to pay a visit to my wife, who now lives and studies in London, in November. I also thought I was gonna pay with my life for that. I was in the center of the alleged terrorist attack, which could also be a hallmark of 2017. And I've talked about this in my latest video, so go check it out if you haven't already. December was just an ordinary combination of work, uni and festivities with my friends and family. And January was pretty lame. Consisted of only studying for final exams and being sick all the time. I, for example, got a so-called hand, foot and mouth disease that usually affects kids under 5 years of age. I was covered in itchy and painful rash. I think I've also developed a slight depression or a general unsatisfaction with my life, mostly because I feel trapped in my life and can't change much about it for another year. So there you go, a proof that you haven't missed out on much. Hopefully fun stuff starts happening now and you get to see it in time that it happens. So take care and I'll see you soon.